What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports podcast. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports where we'll break down and do a deep dive of the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. Subscribe, share, and even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Hit the like button for us and tap the notification bell on the right so you can be notified whenever we drop so you won't miss one. Today we got on the show Chris Pittner for the moment. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I know we'll be talking NL Central in a little bit, but I'm going to the Alumni Home Run Derby for the 25th anniversary of Miller Park tomorrow, American Family Field, whatever you want to call it. So vibes are good. Fun fact, they have $2.50 beer until the first inning on tap tomorrow, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean it's something to do for sure, and then we'll be talking about um, a lot of the deadline stuff over the next week because the deadline is a week away, so that'd be something to really pay attention to. So
It's definitely been a topic of conversation, but how are you doing today, Jalen?
I'm good. I'm all right. Just making it through. Um, we'll see what happens. And I went to the Salt Lake Bees game yesterday, last night. Seeing AAA baseball for the first time, and um, I think that's the first MILB game I've ever been to. I haven't been to really. I've been to independent games, but that's not the same. Yeah, I just got to watch some of the prospects and stuff, so that's pretty cool to see.
Who are they affiliated with?
The Angels. Yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So that's the AAA team for the Angels. So it was a good time too. I mean, it's a new ballpark, a new stadium, and uh, it's really beautiful. I will say they just built it this year. It just opened up this year, this season. So very brand new.
Yeah, there's a big industry around minor league baseball, that's for sure. A lot of teams are getting nice new stadiums, and a lot of them have like fun quirks too. So it's like I've watched videos before on YouTube about like the most fun, like unique minor league baseball stadiums, and they all got something.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So we're gonna jump into our first topic. We got training camp. I think it was day 3, I believe, going into today. You have some big breaking news that I think we had this morning, early this morning. We had Justin Fields was carted to the locker room with an apparent lower leg injury. So that's not a good sign for the Jets, especially being third day into the camp, and your starting quarterback goes into the locker room. But I heard one of our hosts said it was a dislocated toe, so it's not really that serious. So he'll be back out there, hopefully, possibly by maybe next week. I'd say something like that. So.
I just did a quick Google search for those who don't know. It takes on average 3 to 6 weeks to heal, so
Oh,
not super long, but if he heals up quickly, which Fields hasn't really been injury prone or anything like that his entire career, and even when he did have an injury or two, he healed up pretty fast. He should be ready for week 1, but he's going to miss out on those reps in training camp for sure.
oh yeah. I'm not gonna say that he needed the reps in training camp, um, even though he should have them because of him with a new team, new offense, new coach, new regime. Um, and he hasn't really thrown to those wide receivers yet. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see, especially when he doesn't have those reps done. And week 1 is what, about a month away. So
Yeah, I think they get 3 preseason games, and there's like a week or two until the first preseason game. So they get about 5 or so weeks, and the rosters have to get trimmed down pretty significantly to get to that point too.
I do not know. We do not. I don't think. No, yeah, not yet. I don't think I've seen anything about Joe Flacco being named starter yet. The number 2, I'm guessing, would at this moment in time, the way people have been saying, and some of the writers and stuff, they've been saying that it most likely is going to be Kenny Pickett being number 2, meaning Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel is going to be 3 or 4, or one of them is going to get cut for the third spot. So haven't seen anything yet about their depth chart yet. But I'm pretty sure whenever that drops, it'd probably be big time breaking news for um, whenever that whenever they make that decision, because that's because Shedeur Sanders' team, wherever he's at, is going to be followed like to a T. So it's going to break instantly. Whoever starts week 1 for them.
I could almost see him sticking around and Gabriel or Pickett being the one that gets canned because
Yeah.
specifically just for marketing purposes, a lot of people want to buy his jersey. He's a very marketable player. And because of his father and his career at Colorado, he's gained a lot of fans. Obviously, he's gained a lot of haters as well. But it's just from a marketing standpoint and eyeballs, there's going to be a lot more attention on the Browns if he's there versus if he isn't, because their roster isn't all that talented this year. I don't see them going very far at all. They're definitely the worst team in their division roster wise on paper. Games aren't played on paper, obviously, but when the season gets, lost halfway through, they got to have something that keeps the media going, and he could be that spark for them.
Yeah, 1,000%. I would love to see Shedeur Sanders start week 1, like anybody, like all of us would, but just the way that the Browns made it, I guess the way the NFL had him get drafted, he's not going to start week 1. He may not start until like week 4, if that, depending on how they're playing. But me personally, I think what I've heard and what I've seen is that Shedeur Sanders is most likely going to be the third string guy.
The more that I think about it, the more I could see Kenny Pickett being the one that gets cut, because you don't draft 2 quarterbacks with the intention of cutting one, especially if you're not drafting him in the 7th round. If you're drafting him in the 7th, they're just an absolute project at that point. And if they don't work out, fine, because seventh rounders aren't worth too much anyway. But both of them were drafted before the 7th round, which leads me to believe that both of them will be on the roster come week 1. Maybe, I don't know if they're banking on an injury to one of the 4 of them or something, but I could really see Kenny Pickett just being the odd man out there, and then he'll pick up a backup job somewhere else.
Yeah, that's definitely something I could see. I heard that the Bears pulled Ben Johnson that pulled all the first string guys and laid into him. He got into all of their grill. So apparently they did something wrong, or they're doing something wrong, and he's not liking it. And Cole Kmet said, "Hey, like he was asked, do you think that's like surprising or anything?" And he said, no. He feels that that's who Ben Johnson is. He's going to call you out, and that's the kind of thing he pretty much built the minute he got there. That kind of culture. So Bears, from what I could tell, that Eberflus had them on really no short lease, had no real like, I ain't gonna say expectation, but no real consequences for their actions and things like that, for how they play. Uh, and Ben Johnson is not falling for that. He's going to make sure you pay. He's going to let you hear about your mistakes, and that's what I love about him. So,
If you think about it too, Ben Johnson is from the Dan Campbell mold where they're just really intense. Like Dan Campbell is probably the most intense coach in the NFL. And I think a culture shock like that is going to be good for guys like Caleb Williams, who he got humbled a bit last year, but going into last season, he was this generational top prospect. Everyone thought he was going to be incredible, and he struggled out of the gate a bit last year. He was really good at not forcing turnovers, but obviously his offensive line was a travesty as well last year. But I think this is going to be really good for them. It's definitely a different culture than they're used to, and it'll get them going right away, just out the gates, and they'll be able to just play better. They'll be more disciplined, and obviously the offensive line is going to be improved. And I think having a coach like that is just really good to set things up, especially just from the start on day 1 of camp.
oh, most definitely. So we're going to break down. Also, we're going to look at the Thursday night football schedule. So let's break this down real quick. So we have what is that? We got the week 2, so I guess there's no week 1 in it.
So I think what it is this is just the prime schedule. There's always a week one game on Thursday. However, it's just not part of prime. It's by NBC. So I'm not sure what that game is, but yeah, just looking at this, I don't see a ton of terrible matchups because Thursday night kind of gets a bad rap for being horrid matchups, blowout games, Al Michaels not giving a crap. Um, Probably the worst few that stick out to me, probably Jets Patriots is going to be a snooze fest if I had to guess, but they always put that game on Thursday night at least once. Both of those teams have big fan bases. The ratings will be good. Um, Eagles Giants will probably be another snoozer. I see why they put that on here just because of the rivalry aspect, but I don't know. I just don't see much competition there at all.
So, what games are you probably most excited to see?
I think Steelers Bengals is going to be a good one. It'll be fun for sure. That's a good rivalry, really intense. Obviously, Packers Commanders is a good way to start. You got Jordan Love versus Jaden Daniels, two really good teams in the NFC, in a deep NFC that'll probably be challenging for playoff spots, if not more than that. I could see Rams Seahawks being a fun game just because I don't really know what we're going to get out of the Seahawks this year with Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp there now. I think that could be another good team. That Christmas night game could be really interesting too. It'll probably be a really defensive battle, but it could be really intriguing just because Denver's defense is so good. The Chiefs have a good defense. It'll be a bit more of a slugfest than I think we're used to, but it could be a good game nonetheless. But I think if all goes well for Chicago, that Black Friday game could be a lot of fun as well. Philly versus Chicago. Two decent defenses going up against each other, assuming the Bears kind of get their issues that they had towards the end of last season fixed. And the Eagles, who are obviously defending Super Bowl champs, that could be interesting. Week 12 with the Texans Bills could be a good one. Stroud has a bit of a rebound year. They could hang right with the Bills in that game. And
I'd say
also,
the
I think
one. I'd say the one that I'm most excited to see is that Cowboys and Lions game. That might be a really good one.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm not very high on the Cowboys this year. I know they
Mhm.
acquired George Pickens in a trade. I think the Lions beat the brakes off of them just like they did last year. I think that week 8 game between the Chargers and the Vikings could be really fun to watch. The Chargers got better this offseason. I don't know if it was marginally better or very much better. Their run game's going to be improved. They got another good receiver in the draft, and obviously the Vikings are a buzzsaw, so that could be a good one. And depending on how the 49ers do this year as well, that game between them and the Rams on October 2nd in week 5 could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you pretty much broke down a lot of the games I was looking at. I did look at the Washington Commanders and that Packers game to start off Thursday night on Prime, which is going to be something to see. Jordan Love. You'll be seeing what kind of bounce back season he'll be looking for. And then you have Jaden Daniels, who went to the NFC Championship last year as a rookie, coming back for his sophomore season. And people understand, is it going to have that sophomore slump, or is he going to be in the running for offensive player of the year possibly? So um, MVP kind of looks like a stretch unless he goes to the. Uh, that's a tough one. That's if he wins the division, you could think about maybe MVP, depending on how he's playing. But another one I could say that might look good. I would say that Falcons Buccaneers game wouldn't be too bad, depending on how Malik Penix is driving that offense. Because the Falcons aren't a bad team, even though they got rid of a lot of their line guys. They still had a great draft. They still had a pretty good draft, and the Buccaneers had got Igbuka, a good wide receiver that they can throw in the slot in the draft, and Baker Mayfield coming back for redemption as well. So that December 11th, Week 15 game could be a good one. But yeah, definitely that Christmas Day game or Christmas night game is going to be something I'm really watching a lot because obviously me being a Broncos fan as well, um, I just want to beat the Chiefs as well. So that'd be something I see a lot.
Yeah, I think that December 11th game could be a lot of fun. Atlanta's biggest weakness last year, besides their quarterback play, which was not good at all most of the season. Kirko had a couple good games last year, but he wasn't good overall. If Atlanta got their edge situation figured out, which was their biggest issue last year, was pass rush. They weren't able to generate much pressure on the quarterback. That could be a really interesting game. I just don't know if they have enough pieces on that team to truly have quote unquote figured it out.
Yeah, that's valid. That's very valid.
I mean, we thought that Kyle Pitts was going to take a leap now that Jonnu Smith was out of the system. That did not happen. Drake London showed a lot of flashes last year, but wasn't quite that top receiver that they hoped he would be. Bijan is obviously a great running back. There's no doubt about that. They lost their center, though, so we'll see how that impacts them. But Tampa, we talked a lot about them on Tuesday as well. That's going to be a really interesting team to watch this year. I feel like they could make some serious noise in the NFC.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. You got the Dolphins on here twice. You got the Broncos on here twice, and the Rams on here twice, and the Bills on here twice, which is pretty cool to see. I think, I guess the committee or the people who made the schedule are are high on Miami for some reason, putting them on here twice. They believe, I guess, Tua has the team to compete at a high level. We just haven't seen it yet because he's been, in concussion protocol, in and out for the past 2 years. But yeah, the Broncos are a very exciting team. For them to have two games, I like that as well. And then the Bills, obviously, you got Josh Allen, face of the Bills, and then you got the Eagles twice as well. Defending champs. You putting them on there twice, so yeah, it'd be very excited to see what how the Thursday night football schedule plans out and pans out. So we're gonna
I
jump
know that
into
before we move on, Thursday night always gives a bit more of an opportunity to teams that don't get to play on Sunday or Monday. So just giving teams like Miami, who doesn't get a lot of shine, or maybe the Patriots or the Jets this year, just because I personally don't think the Patriots or Jets are going to be very good. Now, they could surprise us. We don't know yet. The games aren't played on paper, but being able to give those teams an opportunity to play in prime time and get away from that 12 o'clock on Sunday time slot is probably good for a lot of them, just to keep them on their toes a little bit, even.
for sure, for sure. Oh wow, oh wow. We got some breaking news here. Wrestler Hulk Hogan has passed away at 71.
Seriously? Wow. Oh my
Yep,
gosh.
his manager has confirmed.
Man, we lost Ozzy on Tuesday and we lost Hulk Hogan today. It's been a rough week.
So, for those who don't know, Hulk Hogan was big in WWE, WrestleMania, all of that Raw stuff. If you watched WWE and wrestling, but for him to pass, a lot of people would look at him as an influencer, as an influence, just because of who he was as a person. Uh, a lot of people would make a lot of jokes when you do something strong or you do something wildly insane. You just say, "Well, that's like Hulk Hogan." But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Wow.
I mean, yeah, that was completely out of left field for me. So obviously a sad day for the wrestling community. I
Yeah,
wasn't a huge WWE fan my
me
entire
neither.
life. Like I knew a lot of the names, I just didn't really watch it nearly as much as some people did.
Same.
But 71's not even old either. Like if you think about it, like it almost feels like he was taken too early because 71 is uh not old at all. People live into their 80s quite frequently, but obviously condolences to his family and friends. I know it's going to be a tough time for them and the wrestling community as a whole.
Trying to see if I can find the. He didn't really look 71 in my opinion. I mean, he looked
I
like
mean,
he
he looks the same as like how I've always pictured him. Like the
right.
last time I saw him was about a year ago, like on camera, but he didn't look like he wasn't even gray, like his hair. Like his facial hair wasn't gray or anything. Like he still looked pretty much the same, maybe just a little aged.
So he was in Florida, Clearwater, Florida. in his home early Thursday morning with operators uh, stating that it was a cardiac arrest. Medics were called to his house. They tried to resuscitate, and they said he was gone and he died most likely. And well, I ain't gonna say most likely, but people are saying with operators saying that he died because of cardiac arrest. So
I mean, cardiac arrest is really tough too because it happens to any age group. We've seen it with Bronny James, even a couple of other younger guys have gotten it as well. So it's kind of
TMZ
an
Sports,
unpredictable one.
I say TMZ Sports. TMZ Sports has put that out. So
Yeah, that's really strange. Cardiac arrest is unpredictable. Like I said, you can't really have a gauge on it, and it can happen to pretty much anybody.
right. So prayers for his family. Um, hopefully they can get through this because he was an icon in a lot of people's eyes. He was most definitely um, an influence, an icon. He was a lot of people's role models, a lot of people's idols. A lot of the people who watch wrestling. Even if you didn't watch wrestling, yeah, a lot of people you still knew who Hulk Hogan was. So we go jump into our next topic. MLB trade deadline is coming up next week. We have a week away. Then you have also the Brewers and Cubs. The Brewers coming back from I think it was like a 7.5 game deficit back about a month and a half ago, and now they have regained first place, sole possession of first place by a full game. Um, Last night they won, or yesterday afternoon they won 10-2 against the Mariners, and the Cubs had dropped the series finale 8-4 to the Kansas City Royals. So I tell people it's going to be a very interesting finish how it comes down to the NL Central. You can look at the
I
NL East
mean,
as well. The NL East is separated by half a game as well.
yeah, obviously the shine's kind of going to the NL Central right now just because those teams are the top two in the sport right now. The
Yeah.
Tigers are really struggling out in Detroit. I think a move could help them for sure. But it's going to be back and forth. There's no doubt about that. I think the biggest thing is going to be that series next week and then that
Yep.
5-game series in Chicago. I think if the Brewers can come out of that, or if the Cubs come out of that and take five out of the 8 games, so the Brewers take 5 out of the 8 games, they're going to be in the driver's seat to win the division. I don't really think there's much debate around that.
Yep.
If they can win the season series against each other, right now the Cubs are up 3-2 in the season series because one game got rained out. They took 2 or 3 in the first one and they split the second 2 games. If the Cubs can take 5 of 8 here, I think the Brewers are just kind of, I mean, they're going to be the top wild card most likely as long as they keep up even a 600 winning pace or a 500 winning pace. They're going to be around 91 to 94 wins most likely if even they play 500 ball from here on out. So it's going to come down to those two series. But as for the trade deadline, for both of these teams, they need very different things. The Cubs need starting pitching just because it's so injured. They have 2 really good lockdown starting pitchers in Matthew Boyd and Shota, but they need a third and a fourth because in a playoff series, they're not best of 2 or best of 3. The wild card is, but then you move on to the NLDS, which is best of 5. And if you're going to make it through the wild card, you need good pitchers behind that. And the Cubs don't have that. They have Colin Ray, who's kind of inconsistent. We've seen him as a Brewer before. He's iffy. Ben Brown is not to be trusted. He had another really shaky outing early this week. And I don't think a bullpen game is necessarily the best idea to do in the playoffs either. But then moving over to the Brewers, their biggest need is a power
They
bat.
forgot. They have Jameson Taillon who's on the IL, but he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. But I will say, as of late, he hasn't been as sharp as he was because obviously he's injured. So go ahead.
He's an up and down guy
Yeah.
too. He's
Yep.
he's had good years and bad years. With the Yankees, he was kind of down, but with the Cubs, I want to say last year he had a good year. This year he started well, but then he had a couple bad outings, like you said. But then moving over to the Brewers, they need a power batter too, and that's really, I think the lineup right now is set up really well to add 1 or 2 power bats and then be set. And then another bullpen arm is another thing that the Brewers probably need. Like we talk about bullpen depth, but it really just comes down to Mears, Uribe, and McGill is like the top three. And then I would say there's a drop off after that. Grant Anderson has been good when he's out there, but he's not really a high leverage guy. Aaron Ashby and DL Hall aren't the best in leverage either. Jared Koenig's been really up and down this year for them as well. So adding one more solid bullpen arm and a couple power bats, I think are going to need to be the main things that the Brewers look at this deadline if they want to win a World Series in October. However, the rumors are saying that they're not going to do much, and that's very disappointing to hear because it feels like this might be their best opportunity to go and get one.
Yeah, you could picture maybe a Eugenio Suarez going to the Brewers, who would be definitely huge for their depth at power bat. Yelich, you got Yelich there. He's starting to take shape again, starting to look like a little bit of his old self, but still not all the way there. You got William Contreras. I don't know what has happened the past week. He's been horrendous over the past week,
So
but
I'll try and explain. I'm not saying that this is 100% impacting it, but he does have a broken finger,
yeah,
so that doesn't help. And he's been playing through it all year, so his batting stats are down a little bit because of that. Because we definitely expected him to be a 20 to 25 home run guy this year, maybe even more than that, and it just has not panned out. He only has 6, and the majority of those were in the beginning of the season in that series in Colorado.
yeah, I can agree. Definitely something you got to watch for, because that broken fingers are not good to come back from. They're hard to come back from. Um, Especially, it takes a time for it to heal. Well, it takes about 4 weeks for actual broken bone to heal. If you have good healing, maybe 3.5 weeks if your healing is like very expedited. If you have really good healing abilities. But they have a lot of contact guys. The Brewers, I've seen when I watched the game, past two games, I think against the Mariners. I watched the game um, when the streak got broke, 1-0, and then I watched a little bit of yesterday's game. They got a lot of guys that hit for contact, and I'm not gonna say that's not gonna get you so far, but they can but when it comes down to postseason and you're hitting the ball a lot, that might actually help you. When you look at the power teams like the Phillies, you look at the power teams like the Dodgers, one championship out of the last 6 years. One championship out of the last 6 years is not going to cut it for you, especially when you have guys like Otani now, and then you have guys like Bryce Harper. He has yet to win a championship, and wherever he's gone has had a lot of power bats. He's got Schwarber there. He's got um, Nick Castellanos there. He's got who else he has? Um,
I mean, the Phillies are just a
Alec
really
Bohm.
good team in the sense that they have just hitters. They don't necessarily have to be power bats. They kind of have a mix of both with Alec Bohm, who's been a lot more of a contact guy this year than a power bat. Obviously, they have Harper, who's kind of a mix of both. Schwarber is definitely leaning more towards that power side. But I think the biggest thing for October, because baseball is the most unpredictable sport when it comes to the postseason, just because you don't know who's hot and who's not. Baseball is such a sport predicated on who's hot. We've seen, like, I would say the Brewers team 2 years ago that lost to the Diamondbacks, I could confidently say that we were better than the Diamondbacks were most of the season. But the thing is, we ran into the Diamondbacks at the wrong time. And I can even more confidently say that the Phillies were better and the Dodgers were better than them that year as well. However, they were able to sneak past them because they were hot at the right time. My concern with the Brewers right now is if they don't make any moves, all these bats are hot right now. The starting pitching is on fire. Quinn Priester came out of nowhere this year. Jose Quintana has been decent. Brandon Woodruff has been really good in his appearances so far. Jacob Mizorowski is a phenom, but they're going to have to limit his innings down the stretch. Freddie, we don't. The thing about Freddie, too, is like he's a good pitcher against the bad teams, but against a team like the Dodgers, he really struggled. And that's happened in the postseason before as well. It happened 2 years ago against the D backs, where he just wasn't able to get it going. But I think this team just needs a move Because if all these batters that are hot right now, Churio's on a huge hitting streak, Yelich is on a huge on base streak. If these guys cool off come September, they need someone to pick it up. And I don't think Andrew Vaughn is necessarily going to be that guy for them either.
Yeah, we have a Sox fan in our group, in one of our group chats, David, who been on the show a few times a little bit. He's big and adamant that Andrew Vaughn is not what the Brewers are thinking he is, but you never know because some guys might have a change of scenery that jolts their career. Like, look at the Cubs when they had got Jake Arrieta. Jake Arrieta was very bad. He was very bad with the Orioles. They got him, and he turned into Cy Young, literally.
I mean, we're seeing that with Matthew Boyd right now as we speak too for the Cubs, just out of nowhere, just becoming an all-star phenom level pitcher. The thing is about the Brewers, though, is they're known for doing that, but with pitchers. They're not known for doing that with hitters, giving them a renaissance. And if they do, it's usually like a week or two. It's not super long. But yeah, Vaughn came back down to earth a lot more this week. And yes, they did. I think our conversations about George Webb's almost jinxed them in a way too, because of course they had to win 10-2 yesterday, but couldn't put up a single run on Tuesday, which was unfortunate.
We have Nazir Spencer in here. Nice of you to join us.
Bro, my muffler in my car, it was like hanging off, so I had to go take it to the shop like right away. So I didn't even realize it, but I was like, dang, I can't even join early today. But I think it's like
good. We just talk about MLB right now, so.
Ooh, you talking about the Brewers better than the Cubs, or are we doing that next week?
Well, we'll probably do that next week when we'll see whoever actually takes that series.
Okay.
But,
okay.
I mean, when we have our Tuesday pod next week, it'll be mid-series, so we'll see the Monday game, and we'll be in between.
Yeah, we'll be right in between, and then that Thursday pod will definitely be right before the trade deadline special that we'll have next week. Hopefully, I don't have to work. So, literally,
what happened to? So, bro, it's just this week, bro. It's been rough. But what's going on with Hulk Hogan, bro? What happened?
Yeah, he passed away. We had just talked about it like right before.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about it right before this segment that he passed away at like 10 minutes ago. I had got an alert saying that he passed. So
I didn't even see it, but rip.
No worries. TMZ has said that it was a cardiac arrest when he passed. So
my TMZ always got the details like that. They
got the scoop, man.
They had Kobe
on top of it before the insiders are. It's incredible.
And that's at 8:36 a.m. Pacific time too. So that's wild that y'all get on that early. Like,
yeah, they late too. That's.
I mean, that was like we got that news around. I don't know, maybe 10:50, 11. That was within 20 minutes.
They 2 hours behind.
Think about it. It's 8:30 over there because it was 9 something over our time. So
that's wild. I don't know how to did that.
But yeah, we were going. We were just talking about what teams, especially Cubs, Brewers, what they should do at the deadline. Which they should look at the deadline, since being a week away, and then we got like 5 or 6 60-win teams. So that's really good for baseball, I will say.
I don't even know what the Brewers need, but I know they need to do something. They're so consistent throughout their whole team, but I feel like if they add one more piece, I don't know where. I don't know if you guys have an idea where for the Brewers, but if they add one more piece, bro, I don't know where, it's over. I think we got a real shot at taking a push this October, but I always said that and we lose, so we'll see.
Well, the thing is too is we don't make that one move ever. Like we've never really been a team. We're very prospect oriented in the sense that we want to keep our guys that are valuable. We don't want to give them up for rentals. Especially like Eugenio Suarez, for example, this year. His value is going to be sky high despite being a rental because of how hot he's been with the home run ball. He has 35 homers this year. I don't see, as much as I want him on our roster, our front office sacrificing any prospects for a guy like him and a chance at a title just because that's not how they roll.
Yeah, so I just wanted to look into that real quick before we jump into our last topic, which we need to have a little bit of time to talk about a little bit. So they may talk about this, whoever is on the live tomorrow. Y'all might be.
Yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow if we get on.
Whoever watches the live, it will be with Nas and Chris, so they will give you more.
Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be able to be on, depending on what time it is, but we'll see.
Yeah. They'll be able to link with each other, and then we'll give you all an update about what happens or what that show is, because that's their show. So we're going to jump onto our last topic, Cam Newton's comments. Now, before we say anything, I'm going to let this video play. And we'll give y'all our comments, all of that right after.
Everybody's going to get mad at this. Cam hating on Jalen Hurts. It's hard for me to grade Jalen Hurts with the talent that he has around him. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. But if we're talking about what they bring to the table holistically, it's hard to judge what Jalen Hurts can do when you're throwing to a guy like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. When you have tight end skill set, you have a dominant defense, the best running back in the game. Download Madden and see how many stars is on the offensive side of Philly. Like, you got King Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely, those guys, that's cool. But when you're comparing, Lamar Jackson still shows you why he's an elite player. Josh Allen has to play elite in order for them to play. Lamar Jackson has to play at a high level for the Baltimore Ravens, even though that they have a dominant defense. Patrick Mahomes, he got a lot of talent. But boy, oh boy, you can't put no John Doe in Patrick Mahomes and think that they still gonna win the way they win it. I understand that. Jalen Hurts does not have to play elite for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. He has to play good, but he doesn't have to play elite. We're not asking you to win the game. We're just asking you not to lose it. When you ask that question, are we winning because of you, solely because of you, or is it the resources around you? So game changer, game manager, those are the things that you have to ask yourself. And those are the metrics that I'm going off of. It's like, bro, even when the tush push, you got 5 people pushing you, bro. You got a solid group around you, dog. And the man who Jalen Hurts is, bro, I respect him. I take my hat off to him. But just because he's a great guy, that don't mean I can't critique his game.
Did he lie?
I don't think so. I think this is you guys remember this debate with Brock Purdy a year or two ago when he had Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. I think this is kind of a similar argument. I think Hurts is a bit better per se than Brock Purdy was, and he has more on his track record to show that he's a better quarterback. However, I think the argument is pretty much the same. It's like if you took him and plopped him down on, say, an average mediocre team like the Indianapolis Colts, I don't think he's elevating that team that much at all. And I think what Cam Newton said there was pretty accurate.
You want to go, Jalen?
Top 10, I think maybe he was maybe top 5 is what Cam thought, because definitely he's not a top 5 quarterback. Not. But top 10, that's hard to say not to. Maybe he is 10. Maybe he's 9. But not top 10?
See.
So you tell me there are 10 quarterbacks in this league that are better than Justin Hurts.
Jalen.
That's I'm not gonna say that's crazy, because if you can find 10, okay, that's just your 10. But that's very hard to say, because then you have to look at what are you looking at for him not to be top 10. Top 5, I get what you're coming from. He's not a top 5 quarterback to me. Just by skill play, just by how he plays and throws the football, top 5, no. Top 10? I think he is top 10. Maybe 10 or 9, but I think he's top 10.
Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, we're going to start from the top. Would you take Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes? Yes or no?
No.
No.
One.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen? Yes or no?
No.
No, that's 2.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow? Yes or no?
No.
No, that's 3.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Lamar Jackson? Yes or no?
No.
That's 4.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Jaden Daniels? Yes or no?
No.
Not right now. Oh.
I would say
Would
no.
you take Jalen Hurts over Baker Mayfield? Yes or no?
This is where
Don't do this. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do that.
You gotta say yes or no.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I would say no. I would say no.
Don't do that. You're not taking Jalen Hurts over Baker Mayfield. I don't want to hear that.
No, right now.
I mean,
No,
the thing is,
Not right
Hurts
now,
has
no.
more.
That's 6, but go ahead.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert? Yes or no?
No.
7. No.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over CJ Stroud? Yes or no?
This is where it gets really interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like,
CJ Stroud right now? No, not right. Not CJ Stroud. No, that's 8.
Would you take Jalen Hurts over Matthew Stafford? Yes or no?
In today's NFL,
Yes.
yes. I'm taking
I
Jalen
think
Hurts
so,
over.
yeah.
Why?
I'm taking
think-
Jalen Hurts over Matthew Stafford.
Why? You put
Just
Jalen
be-
Hurts
just
on the Rams
because-
without doing anything.
Just because they both can throw the football, just because Jalen Hurts can run.
I think Hurts is definitely a better runner than Stafford is. I would say Stafford has an edge as a thrower, but
Jalen
this
Hurts can
age
still
and-
throw the ball.
the
I
thing
will say
about
that.
Stafford is too, he's been injured so many times. That's what makes it tough. But
Now,
I could
Lion
definitely
Stafford?
see
Hell no.
definitely
Matthew
not. But
Stafford, Lion Stafford, hell no.
but 36, 37-year-old Matthew Stafford, I think there's definitely an argument to be had.
Yes, I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Matthew Stafford right now. Yes, just
I'm-
simply because he can run the ball and I can have him and he can pass the ball too. He may not be as like throw a tight spiral into close quarters as Stafford can, but I'm taking he can definitely make the throw and he can run the ball. I'm giving it to Jalen Hurts.
I mean, I think that one's about a wash in my eyes. Now, if we're even taking Stafford from 2 years ago, that's an easy decision. But I
Yeah.
have to see him, like, from year to year. We saw Brett Favre play at, like, an MVP level in 2009 and then fall off the face of the earth in 2010. We don't know how Stafford's going to age these next few years.
I don't think you guys understand that without Matthew Stafford, that Rams team was in the dirt. Their defense was great. Matthew Stafford was the reason they made the playoffs last year. I understand that he can't run very well, but his passing is like pinpoint, like on point every time. Are you taking Jalen Hurts over Jared Goff right now?
Ooh.
You see, this
would
one's
say-
interesting, but I'm
I
taking
would say
Jared Goff.
yes for Jared Goff.
But Jared
I would say
Goff
yes
is
for
better.
Jared
But
Goff.
I'm taking Jared Goff over Matthew Stafford.
Okay, but that's okay. I'm taking both of them over Jalen Hurts, passing wise. Jalen Hurts can't pass like them. He can't lead the offense like them. Saquon Barkley led the offense. You got to think about what Cam's saying, bro. It's not even hating. It's just like you got to look at these games. And Jalen Hurts was not the reason that they won some of these games. He was the reason that they won the Super Bowl. I will say that.
That's
yes,
why I
that was
said.
it.
Jalen
but that was
Hurts
his
might
best
be like
game,
9
though.
or 10.
But that was his
I mean,
best game. Both times, both the best games of his career in the Super Bowl. But every other game, he is not the reason that they win.
I
will give
mean,
him that.
I think about this when he said that Hurts only has to be good to win. I wouldn't even say that sometimes. Hurts was bad against Green Bay in that wild card game.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
he
what-
doesn't even have to be good. He just has to be
He has to
passable.
be all
And
right.
even
Yeah.
in that game, he wasn't passable, and they were still able to escape.
You just got to think about put Jalen Hurts on the Chargers right now. They're winning 3 games. Justin Herbert, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, with Vlad McConkey as best wide receiver. Jalen Hurts is not doing that. Okay, and I think, man, I don't want to say Brock Purdy, but would you take Jalen Hurts over Brock Purdy? Or no? Would you take Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love? I know Chris might not, but
I mean, if we're going off what we saw at the end of last year, I would say yes. But
We're
I don't
coming
think
into a
Jordan
new
Love was
season, so-
anywhere near 100% at the end of last year. His knee was injured. His hand was injured. There was a lot of things
let's
that
say
went
if he
wrong
was
with him.
100%. Let's
I
type-
would say no. I
No.
would say no because we saw what Jordan Love at 100% looked like at the end of his rookie year, and he was a stud. I would rather have that Jordan Love over this Jalen Hurts.
I'll take Jalen Love or Jalen Hurts at 11 or 12. Okay. Now, I like to think that he's a top 5 quarterback because he won the Super Bowl. That, like, in terms of winning,
Top 5. That's crazy.
in terms of Super Bowl, okay, like if he in terms of winning of winning quarterbacks, I think he's one of the top of the top. Okay, but when it comes to being a quarterback, being in the position of leading the team, he is not it because Saquon Barkley is the reason that they were that good. And
That's
O-line,
been their defense. Their
And
defense
Okay,
was
but when we look at
insane
we look
last
at
year.
Lamar Jackson too, right? Lamar Jackson can run as well.
it's not the same.
So do
bro.
we look at who has a better whose spiral is better? That because we can look at
Lamar
spiral.
Jackson's?
Lamar Jackson or
Not even
Matthew
close. Yeah.
Stafford?
I would say,
Well, what do you-
Spiral.
well,
When we talking about throws,
I mean, we're not gonna sit here and act like Lamar can't throw.
I'm
but
not
I
going to
would
say he's not.
I would
But
say
when we
Matthew
talk about
Stafford's
a
a
I
throwing
would say
quarterback,
Stafford has a better spiral, but Stafford is like he's a pure pocket passer. It's
right? That's what I'm
completely
saying. So
different.
we can't really look at Jalen Hurts like that. He's not just a pure pocket passer.
but he can't pass good though, bro. You can't.
He's not-
He can't
yeah,
pass more than
he's-
50 yards. He
He's
can't
got
throw
a
more than 50 yards.
compared to some of the other guys in the NFL, he's got a noodle arm. It is what it is.
He can't throw the ball more than 50 yards. It's a fact. He was incapable of doing so.
I'll take
I mean,
him at
he
like
tried
I'll
throwing
take him
that
at
Hail
like
Mary in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs the first time, and it came up incredibly short. Like it wasn't even close.
I feel like
I'll take him at like 10 because he's top 10, 9-ish, 10. I'd say it could be fluctuated within whoever it is, but yeah, top 10. I mean, it's not that's not diabolical. No one's saying he's like top 8 because there's 8
I
better
know. I'm
quarterbacks.
just saying though, like in terms of just being a quarterback, I think there's just more talent. He can run, like Cam said. He can do the tush push with 5 people pushing him. He can throw the ball to AJ Brown, which is not hard. He can throw the ball to Devontae Smith, which is not hard. He has great tight ends all the time. His O-line is the best in the league by far. I mean, I don't think you'd be able to put him anywhere else and they would be good. Like I genuinely think the Eagles was like it was a calling for him. He had to be that good because they formed this system around him. I don't think if you put him on a different team, so say if they got rid of him right now and they put him on like I don't even know, like pick a team that you can think like the Cardinals or something. I don't know. I feel like Kyler Murray would thrive a little bit more on the Eagles than Jalen Hurts as in performance wise. Kyler Murray, I know he's not as good as Jalen Hurts right now, but if you put him on the Eagles with that system, with those wide receivers, with those coaches, I think Kyler Murray could even be better than Jalen Hurts.
I think the best way that we could look at this is say plop X quarterback, like plop Jared Goff on the Eagles and compare how you think they would do. I think that's the best way to compare them. It's not, oh, he's better because he's won 13 games and Bo Nix only won 9 or something like that. It's just, I think the way that you got to compare them, because like we had this debate a couple of years ago with Justin Fields versus Jalen Hurts, and my friend who was a Bears fan was insistent that if Justin Fields was on the Eagles, he'd be more effective than Jalen Hurts was. And I think specifically because of how good he is as a runner, there was a case to be had there. I mean, there's a case to be had because you don't have to be a good passer to succeed on the Eagles. You just have to be able to run the ball and just be able to hand it off well and just kind of throw it up there, and your top receivers will be able to get it.
Justin Fields' problem is he's a one-read quarterback. A lot of times when he gets the ball, he's looking for one person instead of like when he be able to scan the field. Because if he's able to scan the field, he would be like Lamar Jackson because of how fast he is. He can throw the ball, but it's just inaccurate because he's looking for one person and he has to hurry up and make a decision and throw elsewhere. We've seen him be able to make good throws. It's just that the Bears ruined him.
The only throw that I've seen Jalen Hurts, like that I can remember on top of my head, like I can remember a lot of Lamar Jackson passes. I can remember a lot of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes passes. But if we're talking in terms of passing, I can only remember like one recently that was like insanely good, which is in the Super Bowl where he threw it to Devontae Smith down the field. That was a perfect dot, and it was a beautiful touchdown. I thought it was his best throw that I've ever seen in the playoffs, especially. So I can't think of any moment where Jalen Hurts was like insanely good at passing. Like even in the first Super Bowl, he had 4 touchdowns, and I think like all of them were like rush, besides like one maybe. I swear it was. If I may be wrong, I may be making that up, but he had a lot of rushing touchdowns in the first Super Bowl. He's known for those tush pushes. That's why they wanted it banned. He almost got it banned. So they wanted to like expose Jalen Hurts because they know he's probably not that good without it, and that the Eagles probably can't survive without it. So I don't know, bro. I don't think Cam's that crazy for saying that. I don't think it's even hating. I think it's just a different level of ball knowledge that, you know, we might not see on a daily basis because he's obviously an MVP quarterback and, you know, Super Bowl appearing quarterback. So I don't know. I feel like it's not that crazy to say he's not that top 10. quarterback wise. Winning, I'll put him at top 10, maybe top 5 for sure. Because
I mean, if we want to talk about just passing like that, like off the top of my head, I can think of, because Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts are pretty much in the same tier of quarterback in my eyes, in that same kind of realm. I can immediately think of like 4 or 5 Jordan Love throws that are better than pretty much anything Hurts has ever put out. The one against the Cowboys to Wicks, the one against the Cowboys to Dobbs. It was a short throw, but it was on the money. That throw to Tucker Kraft in the end zone last year against the Texans. And I don't watch the Eagles every week like I watch the Packers every week, but I can't find those moments because they don't need to happen. He doesn't have to be really good. So I think Cam was pretty much on the money when he said that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody is entitled to how they feel, especially with that argument, because I don't think a lot of people on this earth, if you're saying he's a top 10 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback, because when people say, oh, my God, you're crazy for saying he's not top 10, that means you're like thinking he's like top 6, 7, maybe 5 when people say that kind of statement. So it's definitely going to be something to watch for sure. And obviously, it'd be something to see as well when we come into the season. You know what's
crazy about that though? Everybody was saying the same thing we're saying right now before Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl. They're saying he's not top 5. He's barely top 10. Like everybody on every media outlet was saying that besides a couple of people. And now that
Cam said
it. And now that Cam saying it, oh, you can't talk. You didn't jump on the ball. Like, bro, he's talking from facts, low-key. Like,
he won an MVP too. It's like you don't have to be a good player to know the game. Like some of the best coaches are backups.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think the media likes to turn around things every week, but I've always thought Jalen Hurts was like top, like maybe 8. I don't know, but Cam kind of helped my perspective a little bit with maybe he's not top 10, but at quarterback, he's a top 10 winner for sure.
All right, let's go. Final thoughts.
Going to see Fantastic Four tonight, boys. Oh, it's gonna be a fun time. I don't know if you guys even like those type of movies, but
oh yeah, I love them.
Big Marvel guy.
I'm gonna tell you guys how it is tomorrow. I'm not gonna spoil it for you if you end up going to see it. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. I hope it's better than Superman because I'm not a Superman fan. I'm a Batman fan. But we'll see how that goes. Fantastic Four. I grew up with them, obviously, with the 2004 movies and the shitty like 2015 movie with Michael B. Jordan. But this one's gonna change a lot. So I'm excited. It's gonna lead to Doomsday, and I'll let you guys know how it goes tomorrow. Maybe if Chris joins me tomorrow, we'll talk about it a little bit, give him a little synopsis of it all.
I mean, the thing is about Marvel is like they've been taking a lot of L's since Endgame, pretty much, if you think about it. A lot of those movies that they've released since then haven't been quite up to the standard that we saw beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get a legitimate good Marvel movie, it'll get a lot of momentum going into Avengers Doomsday next year, which would be really good. But
They've
my
got
final
2 good
thought,
movies this year. They had 2. That Captain America was good. People hate on it, and Thunderbolts was amazing. So I didn't mind those movies. They're on the right track though, for sure. Go ahead.
But going on to my final thought, I saw something yesterday that I thought was just hilarious, and it's that the Knicks are refusing to make any like big moves until they figure out the Giannis situation. In my eyes, this is exactly why the Knicks haven't won a title in 50 years and probably won't win a title anytime soon, despite having good pieces. Just because they're not really a serious organization from the ownership standpoint. They fired Tom Thibodeau, which I don't really think made a lot of sense. And they waited all the way until the start of free agency to hire a coach. If you were truly serious about hiring a coach, you would have got that done before the draft. And they just waited too long, and they didn't really do much of anything this offseason besides Gershon Yabusele to improve the roster.
I would say my final thought. It's almost time for fall again. The thing is, August. What, next week? Next Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's football season is back. You know, that means
it's gonna be
the best time of year is here. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks on there, like 2 months away or whatever, a month away. Then they do like a little fall setup, and then they got NFL theme music, and then they put a game on there and stuff. But I'm excited to see what this season has to hold, because there's a lot of teams that's supposed to have higher expectations this year. You got the Bears thinking they got high expectations, which I'm not really falling for until I see it. But I know a lot of Bears fans right now saying, "Oh, the expectation is high. We're going to contend. We're going to have at least 9. We're going to have 10 wins at least." No, I want to wait and see. I'm still not having my highest hope yet, because I just know how the Bears are.
I think you got the right mentality too with that, because there's just so many people that love to go overboard with their optimism, and I can see why, just because they've been bad for so long.
I mean, I do the same thing, bro. I think Jalen, I think it's time to turn the tides, bro. I think it's time for you to hype the Bears up. I think I need to see it once in my life. I've never seen it a day in my life. So
you'll see it at some point when I actually feel like they're actually worth a damn.
time to turn the tides, bro. You got a new coach. You still got the same owner, which is bad, but still, you'll be good.
I mean,
I'm not saying that they're going to be. I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to put out there. I want to see what kind of schemes he's going to give. But as to win-loss record, I'm not going to be intensely overfied saying we're going to win 10, 11 games this season. I'm just not gonna sit here and do that. I'm gonna just keep it realistic. Like, I'm excited to see what Ben Johnson has to offer, what the kind of sets he's going to put out there, and how Caleb would look. Because a lot of people would say Caleb would be on the hot seat if he doesn't do well this year, which is insane, because this is his second year. Right. But people are going to be like, well, next year's his third year, and he had 2 bad seasons, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. I'm like, can we let the kids act? Like, the actual developed quarterback takes 3 to 4 years to actually develop into something great. And we're putting all of this expectation, all of this pressure on a kid that's in his second season. Oh, he was supposed to be great last year. Well, he threw the ball well. Well, we had 5 wins. That's what I'm talking about. He can throw the ball well. I want to see what leads to victories, not what, oh my gosh, man, he's throwing for 4,000 yards. Who cares? If you got 4 or 5 wins, it means nothing.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough too, because there's so much pressure being in Chicago too. The media there is relentless. The fans are even more relentless. Maybe not towards Caleb last year. I don't think they were, really, just because they knew he was a rookie and he is this hyped up generational talent. But if he doesn't start performing this year, there's going to be a lot of irrational fans in that fan base that are going to chop his head off.
I mean,
yeah. So, I'm just excited that football season is back and we're ready. I'm ready.
Caleb Williams will be all right, bro. Hey, Chargers got a big boy schedule this year, man. And I'm excited, but I'm also nervous because we start off with 3 divisional opponents 3 weeks in a row. I think we start off with the Broncos, and then we go to the Raiders, and then Chiefs, something like that. Or no, maybe the other way around. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous. I can't be nervous because we got Harbaugh. I think he's got us in the right hands. But with Quinn Johnson on our team still, I don't have much hope for the same.
Who's your NFC division that you guys played this year?
I know we play the Falcons, so maybe the NFC South, or yeah.
I mean, if you want a division to play in the NFC, that's probably the easiest one.
Hold on, let me look at their schedule real quick.
I'm ready. I'm excited for my Broncos. Well, I'm ready to see if.
We start with the Chiefs. That's okay. we start with the Chiefs on a Friday, September 5th. Interesting.
Oh, okay. Is that the Brazil game?
Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, well, that's on YouTube TV for some reason. And then we start with the Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. All right, that's it. All right, and then we play the NFC East. So we play the Giants, the Commanders. Then we go to Miami. Then we play the Colts, which we usually beat. We play the Vikings. That's a random NFC game. Then we go to Tennessee again. We always play them for some reason. We play Pittsburgh. That's a good game. We play Pittsburgh every year too. I don't know what that's all about. Play Jacksonville, the revenge game that we're going to Jacksonville. So hopefully Justin Herbert can pull it out his ass and throw 6 touchdowns against them.
You guys should go at least at minimum 3-1 against the AFC South.
Yeah.
We'll see what my Broncos got in store for me as well. Bo Nix, I'm ready to see him take the next jump. He already
I
took
mean-
a big jump, but ready to see him take the next one. Get us
Finally
It's
get a late
seriously-
bye. Finally get a late bye, a week 12 bye, or week 12 bye. That's amazing. We never get a late bye, so that'd be fun. But we got a big boy schedule this year, man. After that, I think we save it for another day.
Well, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Follow our podcast page on the other platforms. We have a Spotify, an Instagram, and a TikTok. That'll be in the description box below. We will post reels and shorts of this show. We try to do polls as well, and be with us tomorrow. You'll possibly have this show called Nas and Chris. We'll see what time they get on, but Nas and Chris, that's their show. So hopefully they get on there tomorrow, and we'll see you next week for the big one.